You haven't seen another human for almost 3 weeks. The forest has become your entire world. Every morning begins the same. You wake before sunrise. You listen. Not with your eyes, but with your ears. Because out here, hearing something first often means surviving it. Today feels different. The birds suddenly stop singing. The wind grows strangely quiet. Even the insects seem to disappear. Your heart begins to race. You grip your wooden spear a little tighter. Then, you hear it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Footsteps. Slow, careful. Not a wolf. Not a bear. A person. A complete stranger. They step out from behind the trees. They're about your age, holding a spear, wearing animal skins, just like you. For one brief moment, you should feel relieved. After all, it's another human. Someone who speaks. Someone who understands fire. Someone who has survived the same brutal world. But you don't feel relief. You feel fear. Because 50,000 years ago, another human could be more dangerous than any predator in the forest. A hungry lion wants one meal. A desperate human might want everything you have. Your food, your tools, your fire. Even the place your family sleeps tonight. Neither of you moves. Neither of you smiles. The silence between you feels heavier than the spear in your hands. You don't know if this stranger has children waiting for food, or if they killed someone yesterday to stay alive. And they don't know those things about you either. In this world, trust is a luxury. Survival comes first. So, what would you do? Would you lower your spear and hope this stranger comes in peace? Or would you prepare to fight before they make the first move? Before we continue, imagine this decision is real. No police, no laws, no one coming to help. What would you choose? A. Walk closer. B. Hide. C. Run. D. Raise your spear. Write only the letter in the comments. Then let's find out what our ancestors most likely did. Because the answer changed the future of humanity. You slowly tighten your grip, not because you want to fight, but because you don't know if you'll have a choice. The stranger does the same. Neither of you has spoken a single word. Yet somehow, both of you understand exactly what's happening. One wrong move, and someone isn't going home. Today, seeing another person usually feels normal. You pass strangers every day. On the street, in a store, on a bus. Most of them never even notice you. But 50,000 years ago, there were no cities, no villages, no police, no hospitals, no laws, no one to punish violence. Out here, survival belonged to whoever made the better decision. And sometimes, that decision had to be made in only a few seconds. Your tribe is small, maybe 20 people, perhaps even fewer. Every hunter matters, every child matters, every pair of hands matters. If one hunter dies, the whole tribe feels it. If 2 hunters die, winter suddenly becomes much harder. If disease spreads, an entire bloodline could disappear forever. Now imagine another group appears. They are hungry, just like you. They are cold, just like you. They are searching for food, just like you. The problem is, there isn't enough for everyone. One river, one herd of animals, one safe cave, 2 tribes. Someone will have to leave empty-handed. And desperate people often make desperate choices. Scientists believe that many early human groups competed for the same resources. Archaeologists have discovered ancient skeletons with healed fractures, broken skulls, and injuries caused by weapons. Some survived those encounters. Many probably didn't. But here's the part most people never think about. The stranger standing in front of you is probably just as frightened as you are. He's asking himself the very same questions. Is this person alone? Are there more hiding in the trees? If I turn my back, will I ever see my family again? Neither of you sees a monster. You both see a risk. And in the ancient world, sometimes a risk was all it took to start a fight. But if strangers were this dangerous, how did humans ever make friends, trade ideas, or build the larger communities that eventually changed the world? The answer is far more surprising than you might think. The easiest way to survive would seem simple. Trust no one. Stay with your own tribe, avoid everyone else. And for thousands of years, many groups probably did exactly that. It kept them alive, but it also created a new problem. Imagine your tribe has lived in the same valley for generations. You know every river, every cave, every hunting trail. But one winter, the animals don't return. The berries disappear. The river begins to dry. Your world is changing, and your tribe has no idea why. Then one afternoon, something unexpected happens. Not far from your camp, you notice smoke rising above the trees. Another tribe. You could leave. You could attack. Or, you could do something no one in your family has ever done before. Walk toward them. Your heart pounds with every step. Your spear stays in your hand, so does theirs. Children hide behind their parents. Hunters quietly spread out. Everyone is ready. Just in case, for a long moment, no one moves. Then, an old woman from the other tribe slowly places a bundle of dried fish on the ground. She steps back, no words, no smile, just one simple action. She's showing that she doesn't want to fight. Your tribe watches in silence. Your leader looks at the fish, then at the strangers. Slowly, he kneels down, places a piece of dried meat beside it, and steps back. No handshake, no promises, just trust, built one careful choice at a time. Scientists believe that encounters like these may have helped ancient humans exchange far more than food. New hunting techniques, better stone tools, safer routes through dangerous lands, medicinal plants, even fire-making skills. A single peaceful meeting could improve the survival of an entire tribe. And over thousands of years, those small exchanges helped humans spread across the world. But there was something even more valuable, something neither tribe could see: their children. Because sometimes, a stranger didn't just bring knowledge, they brought new blood into the tribe. New families, new generations, new chances to survive. Modern genetic evidence even shows that different human groups, including Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, met, lived alongside one another, and sometimes had children together. The strangers your ancestors feared also helped shape the DNA you carry today. But that still leaves one impossible question. If one stranger could become a friend, and another could become a killer, how did ancient humans tell the difference before it was too late? Imagine you're standing face to face with a complete stranger. Neither of you wants to die, but neither of you knows if the other can be trusted. There are no introductions, no names, no promises, only tiny clues. The stranger doesn't rush toward you. That's a good sign. Their spear points toward the ground, not your chest. Another good sign. They keep their distance. They aren't trying to surround you. They aren't hiding anyone behind the trees. Every movement matters. Every step sends a message. Long before humans learned to read words, they learned to read people. Scientists believe our ancestors became experts at noticing body language. A trembling hand, a nervous glance, a sudden movement, even the way someone stood, could reveal fear, confidence, or aggression. Because out here, you rarely got a second chance. A single mistake could leave your children without a parent, your tribe without a hunter, your family without hope. So instead of asking, "Can I trust this person?" your brain asked a different question. What's the safest decision? That tiny difference kept our ancestors alive. Sometimes, the safest choice was to walk away. Sometimes, it was to stand your ground. And sometimes, it meant taking a risk. Slowly, the stranger places their spear on the ground, not far enough that they can't grab it again, but far enough to show they don't want to fight. You hesitate. Your heart is still racing. Every instinct tells you, this could be a trick. The forest is silent. The wind barely moves the leaves. For a few long seconds, nothing happens. Then, you do something just as risky. You lower your own spear, not because you trust them, because you're giving them a chance to prove they deserve your trust. And that's the moment that changed human history. Not the invention of a weapon, not the discovery of fire, but the moment two complete strangers chose caution instead of violence. Of course, it didn't always end this way. Sometimes, that trust was betrayed. Sometimes, the stranger smiled, only to attack a moment later. And those painful lessons became part of something even more powerful: human memory. Because every child growing up in that tribe would hear the story. Be careful. Watch their hands. Never ignore your instincts. Those stories weren't just warnings. They were survival manuals, passed from one generation to the next. But here's the surprising part. Even after thousands of years, your brain is still following those same ancient rules. You just don't realize it. Thousands of years pass. Stone tools become metal. Small camps become villages. Villages become cities. Then, civilizations rise. Today, you can walk through a crowded street surrounded by hundreds of strangers. Most of them aren't dangerous, yet something inside you still refuses to trust everyone. Think about the last time someone you've never met walked toward you at night. Maybe you crossed the street. Maybe you checked over your shoulder. Maybe you instinctively tightened your grip on your phone. You didn't stop to think. You simply reacted. That reaction is far older than you are. Scientists call it an instinct. Your brain calls it survival. Long before your conscious mind has time to think, another part of your brain has already started asking questions. Friend or enemy? Safe or dangerous? It happens in seconds, sometimes before the other person even speaks. The truth is, your ancestors didn't survive because they were stronger than every animal. They survived because they became incredibly good at reading risk. Most of the time, they were wrong about nothing. But every now and then, being cautious saved an entire family. Imagine trusting the wrong stranger. You lead them back to your camp. They see your fire, your children, your food. That night, they return with 5 more hunters. By sunrise, everything your tribe spent years building is gone. Our ancestors didn't have the luxury of assuming everyone had good intentions. Their world was unpredictable. One bad decision could erase generations. So they learned a difficult lesson. Trust wasn't something you gave away. It was something people earned, slowly, patiently. One action at a time. And perhaps that's why, even today, real trust still takes time. A handshake isn't enough. A smile isn't enough. Our brains still look for patterns, consistency, kindness, reliability. Without realizing it, we're following rules written tens of thousands of years ago. But here's something remarkable. If humans had never learned to trust strangers, even a little, the world you know today would never have existed. So, how did our ancestors finally overcome their greatest fear without losing the caution that kept them alive? The answer may be the reason human civilization became possible. Imagine if every stranger had always been an enemy. Every meeting ended in violence. Every new face ended in fear. Humanity would have stayed divided forever. Small tribes, scattered across the wilderness, never sharing ideas, never sharing knowledge, never building something bigger than themselves. But that's not what happened. Somewhere, tens of thousands of years ago, someone took a chance. Perhaps it was a hunter who lowered his spear first. Perhaps it was a mother who accepted food from another tribe. Perhaps it was two children who were too curious to hate each other. We'll never know. History never recorded that moment, but we know it happened. Because little by little, strangers became allies. Allies became neighbors. Neighbors became communities. And communities became civilizations. Every road, every city, every nation began with people learning one simple lesson. Not every stranger is an enemy. Of course, our ancestors never stopped being careful. Trust was never blind. It had to be earned, sometimes over hours, sometimes over years. That balance between caution and cooperation became one of humanity's greatest strengths. It's the reason ideas spread across continents, the reason new inventions survived, the reason families grew beyond a single tribe, and perhaps the reason you're here today, because somewhere in your family tree, thousands of generations ago, one of your ancestors met a complete stranger and decided not to fight. That single decision echoed across thousands of years, until eventually it reached you. So the next time you meet someone you've never seen before, remember this. Your brain is carrying memories older than written history. It still whispers the same ancient question, can I trust this person? And every time you answer, you're continuing a story that began long before cities, long before kingdoms, long before history itself. The strangers your ancestors feared didn't just shape their future, they shaped yours. Thanks for watching. If you had lived 50,000 years ago, what would have been your first move? Would you trust a stranger or keep your spear raised? Tell me your answer in the comments, because I'd genuinely love to know. And if you enjoyed stepping back into the world of our ancestors, don't forget to subscribe to Tiny Ancestors. There's still thousands of forgotten human stories waiting to be uncovered.